Greetings, power people. Y'all know I love to get on this internet and bring powerful women to you and just have these powerful conversations that encourage us to heal everything. And so I have my beautiful sister. Is she not fly though? Can we peep the part? And can we peep the pink lip? And just the glowy skin.
Yes.
I just love how beautiful we are as women and how we come together. I'm going to introduce Teondra in just a moment. And many of you are already familiar with her because you've been seeing us walk together through the marketplace. And so in today's conversation, I really want to zoom in on living in your worth and value even when society and the things around you may be trying to tell you that you're unworthy, maybe trying to track your track record of decisions and what you've done before and use that as evidence to say, who are you to think you deserve what you want? And I am here to tell you that desire is the seat of your feminine power. And if you want it, then it's yours. And other people's opinion about it, how important is that to you really? Put an exclamation mark in the comment section if you resonate with that. If you're feeling that, if you're feeling like, you know what, you can hate me now, but I won't stop. Not like just I'm gonna go get what I want. I'm not gonna let nothing, nobody keep me from having the things that I know align with the wisdom I've gained and the woman that I have become. So we're gonna get into it. So let me introduce the strong friend. First off, Teondra Bowman is a woman and mother who has been empowering and uplifting women through her social media platforms. Since 2013, she has been on a mission to become the best version of herself. She shares her weight loss and healing journey with intention and transparency as a way to connect with women and let them know that they are not alone. And because she struggled with her weight all of her life, when she became a mother, she knew that her children deserved a mother that could participate in life with them and not just watch them from the sidelines. Life had to shift in a major way. Her journey led her to having bariatric surgery, and that process sparked her desire to help other women get free. She was introduced to several modalities of healing, like therapy, meditation, Reiki, and V steaming, as she worked to resolve her issues with past trauma that caused her to use food as a coping mechanism. And she realized that healing her mind and spirit was the key to healing her body. She has worked in the medical field for 15 years, clinically as a medical assistant and patient navigator, and held multiple administrative roles. Her extensive healthcare experience allowed her to see that there is a gap in women's care. The medical world treats the body and neglects the mind and spirit, and Teondra is actively pursuing her nursing degree and believes that by becoming a nurse practitioner focused on holistic healing, she can be a bridge and bridge the gap for the women that she serves. As the founder of the Strong Friend, her online community for those who are looking for support and want to uplift others, she is helping women recognize that they are their first priority and that they need to be a witness as they facilitate their own healing in a holistic way. She is a newly certified womb
Yes.
practitioner. She is also a Womb Sauna University enrollment advisor and
Yes.
part of the Womb Sauna team. So she's on the inside and
And
in the marketplace, representing our brand at the highest level. And she uses these sessions to awaken clients to their healing potential. She is dedicated to living a life on purpose, of purpose, while creating a legacy for her family that leaves an impact on women all over the world. You can connect with her on the gram and on Facebook, and those comments are in the description so you can stay connected to the movement. So listen, thank you, wise woman, powerful woman, strong friend, for saying yes to this interview, for saying yes to that impulse you can't turn off, to be amongst the women, to pour
Yes.
into the women, to receive from the women, right? It is wise to tribe.
Yes.
It is wise to have other women of like mind and spirit in your life, who can mirror back to you how you're really showing up. And so I admire you, and I think you are an incredible force. I want to quickly share with the people the testimony of how you came into my orbit, because I really didn't even fully understand it until you shared it in the training. But Teondra ran into me on these calls I used to do on Wednesday mornings, and she would be sitting there waiting to see if I was going to be on that call.
Yes.
And then when I called her to give her the opportunity to be a part of the team, she literally was like, Tama, I was journaling that I would be a part of the womb sauna. I was just waiting for spirit to tell me how that door was going to open. I was floored. If you could have seen my face on the phone, I was like, if that is not the perfect example of divine synchronicity. And
Yes.
I pray every day that I'm able to put my energy out in the world in a way that it reaches who it needs to reach at the perfect time. So I just love that you are here and that you are a part of the practitioner family and you are a part of the Womb Sauna team. So let's get into this conversation, because I know you got something for the people. I already know who you are. Listen, when was the moment in your life when you felt the most unworthy?
I felt the most unworthy in about 2018. I
Mm-hmm.
went to work. I was doing corporate implementation. I thought I had finally landed like my dream job. I went to college for this. This is where I'm supposed to be. I had planned to get settled in and, raise my kids, pay for college, the American dream, all the good stuff. Birthday is January 25th. Go to work on the 26th. Go to lunch, come back, and half of my team got laid off. So it
Ouch.
was completely unexpected after having a big town hall meeting with the new CEO where he promised nobody would be losing their jobs. So to come back and to be unexpectedly laid off from a place I thought I could, plant roots, it was devastating. The entire year in 2018, I lost everything. I didn't have good financial planning, so there was no money saved to maintain the lifestyle that I had created for my kids in the interim. And unemployment versus was receiving, from my pay, it just did not match. Ended up leaving my decade-long relationship with my kid's dad, so lost my home, had to move back home with 3 kids, lost my relationship, my partner,
Ouch.
just lost grounding in every area. And I felt like a failure as a mom, not necessarily as a woman, but it was the impact and the weight of feeling like I failed my children
Mm.
that hit me the most. And that was really when I got super, super, super intentional in changing my life. I was in my hallway bathroom, bawling, praying, like, God, this is not it. This is not what you showed me. This is not what we talked about all those years ago. I want to
Mhm.
go home. I want to go back to school. I want to do all of the things that we talked about. I need you to give me a second chance. And by the end of 2018, my kids and I were packed up. All of my things were in storage, and I was back home in the house that I grew up in with my mom and my grandmom and just my entire family for support because I knew we needed it with the second chance that I had literally prayed for.
Mhm. So why do you think women interpret having a lot of adversity as a signal of their worth or unworthiness? Why is that the criteria?
For me, I can say I also got saved. I rededicated my life that year in July of 2018 and
Mhm.
got baptized. And the messaging is that once you get baptized and you are saved, life is supposed to be good. If you are
Oh, girl,
doing
that's
what
a
you
whole
are,
other interview right there.
if you are
Y'all put some
doing,
hearts. Y'all put some hearts. If y'all can trace
if
how
you're
that
doing what you're
religious
supposed to
programming.
do, if you are
Mm,
being a good person, if you are serving, if you're giving, if you're tithing, if you are doing all of the right things, life is supposed to be good to you in return. If you're planting the good seeds, your harvest is supposed to be good. And it took
mm,
me a long time to separate from that message
mhm,
because I really did internalize all of the bad. Like, well, maybe I'm not as good as I think I am. Things are
mm.
just not lining up for me. People are not staying, jobs are not staying, things come for a little while and I can't hold on to them. So what is it about me that is keeping me from keeping the good?
Oh, that's so good. I think so many of our listeners can relate to that. And y'all put in the comment section exclamation mark if you have been there, if you can relate to what Teondra and I are talking about. Because I do think, and particularly girls and women are programmed to live your life according to other people's dreams for you.
Yes.
The American dream, the I get married, have children, the good job, the picket fence, the beautiful house, or I got the degrees, or I gave my life to Christ, right? Like, who's
Yes.
making up the rules for your life? Because whoever is making up the rules and the standards that you live by also has the power to influence your sense of worthiness.
Yes.
And I think something beautiful happens when women reclaim full ownership of their
Yes.
lives and their self perception and decide that I don't care what other people's interpretation of me is. I'm going to stand on my truth about what I know and believe
Mm-hmm.
I deserve, I desire,
Yes.
and I'm worth. But to whom much is given now, much is required. When you shift into that mindset and you start saying it's on me, that means you got to look at your adversities. You got to look at the gaps in your knowledge, your skills, your capabilities, your
Mm-hmm.
capacity. And you no longer can throw that at Jesus' feet. You no longer can blame your mama and daddy
Come
for
on.
not having all the, you gotta woman up. So let's talk about that. Like, what was your woman up moment? And what were some of the things you did to reclaim your life and your worth and value and start living in it and practicing it?
Honestly, I did not have my woman up moment until this year. It took me 5 years of kind of repeating that same cycle where the good is coming, it's not staying. The good is coming, it's not staying. Um, and really attacking why I do not feel worthy. Like I did a year and a half of therapy, really centered around reclaiming my self worth. A lot of it was some daddy trauma there, some daddy wounds. Because when it comes to women, I am fine. When it comes to how women feel about me, I have absolutely no doubt that they think that I am amazing. They uplift me, they support me. But when the men are involved, that was the area that really, really had me in a chokehold. I
Mm,
never felt worthy. Growing up to my dad, I never felt worthy. But having conversation with him about where he was as a 19-year-old father and his lack of capacity was a turning point for me that really helped me to understand that his inability to show up the way that I needed him to show up had absolutely nothing to do with me. And I've
mhm.
been able to translate that into other areas and how I interact with other people and rebuild my perception of myself.
So I love how you bring up the interplay between your interactions with men and your self perception, because I do believe that a lot of women, at least that I've worked with and put on the pot in the womb sauna,
Mhm.
their self worth, their self esteem was traumatized by their interactions with men. Like, it was triggered. That set things in motion for them. That
Yes.
first boyfriend, that first lover, that first shot at trying to open your heart to someone else and practice blending and all that. Yeah. Even in my story, I remember the first time I had a sense of not being enough was
Mm-hmm.
when in my first marriage, with my now ex-husband, I found out that he was betraying me, being deceptive and dishonest,
Ooh, that
and
rips you.
he was constantly telling me he was not man enough for me, and I was
Come on.
constantly trying to convince myself that he was wrong.
And see, I
Ah!
was the opposite. I would try to convince them that they were wrong. You telling me, literally have said, a man's literally said to me, my last relationship, you deserve better than me. On more than
Right.
one occasion, after an incident, said that. And I'm like, well, we all make mistakes. I'm making excuses for it. I'm
Hello?
excusing the
So we
behavior.
did the same thing.
Yes,
But years later, looking back at it, I realized that, like, it was never really about the other person.
never.
I teach my clients that your lovers are your master teachers. Put that in the comment section. Your
Ooh,
lovers are
come
your
on.
master teachers, and they reveal where you're still wounded. Now, it
Mhm.
is your responsibility to take that information and decide what you're going to do with it.
Yes.
We instead have been sold this template that my love life is the space where I'm supposed to help somebody else become what they're supposed to
They're
be.
supposed to be. Yes.
But for me, in that moment of recognizing, and my spiritual father gave me so much wisdom about how to navigate through that divorce, because I stayed separated for 3 years. I needed to take my time because
Hmm.
his interpretation of me literally shook me to my core, made me question if I was good enough.
Mm.
Because that's how much value I had placed
Hey,
on
come
marriage
on.
union and the building of my family life. So, anyway, moving ahead, my Baba said to me, if you ever want to know if something is truly for you, let it go. So, in the letting go space,
Yes.
I was able to sit with myself. Why do you think women resist the need to sit with themselves? How can they possibly reclaim their true worth and value if they don't learn to just be one with themselves? Why do they resist it so much?
When you sit with yourself, you have to take full accountability for yourself. You
Mhm.
can you can't say I'm not working on me because of the job or because of the man or because of the kids. All excuses go out the window when
Mhm.
you get quiet and you get still. And you really start to see and hear the truth about who you really are when you pray. It really comes back. You can see all of your empty spaces. You see where all of your gaps are. And a lot of times we can't handle that because I know
Mm.
I couldn't handle that because I was the good girl. Um, I believe my value was tied to what I did. So
So
if
you're
I
saying
wasn't,
something important here. I don't want them to miss this. She's saying something good because I agree. I think women resist sitting with themselves because your subconscious must know that you're going to discover things about yourself that you're not going to like. Like, you're
that you're
not
not
going to be able
perfect.
to hide from your picker being broken and you choose Boo Boo the Fool every time. You're
Hmm.
not going to be able to hide from your procrastination and how it impacts every other area of your life. You're not going to be able
Yes.
to hide your low financial IQ and why you can
Come
never
on.
have more than enough. Like, you're going to have to deal. You're going to have to feel.
All of
And
it.
I wish that women would trust themselves enough to
Hmm.
face themselves
Yes.
and be the best love interaction they can experience in life, to love yourself more, than anybody else, so that when others begin to love on you, it's icing on the cake and not the thing you need to survive.
And not only that, when you start having that self-centered love, when others come and their love is not genuine, you know immediately.
Immediately.
The level of your choice making becomes so much greater. And I'm in that space and I love it here.
Yeah.
When they're fake, I know right away. When they do
Yeah.
not have my best interest at heart, I know right away. And I don't feel bad about saying, ooh, you got to stay over there. You do not get access to me. I find so much joy, in a sense, in denying access and having
Yeah.
the courage and the consciousness to say, this don't match. This is
Oh,
not
that's so
lining
good.
up with who I
Mm-hmm.
am and what I want. And it's realizing that for so many years, everybody else always saw exactly who I was. And they always saw my worth, which was why people have literally, if I didn't end relationships, they wouldn't be over.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of space. Like if I didn't end it, they would still just be dragging along. I would still be carrying all the dead weight.
And I
And
have so much gratitude for those experiences. I've had those too.
yeah.
Like, when I hear these dusty podcasters and stuff talking
Come
about
on.
women are always initiating divorce, I'm like, yeah, because we wise and we know the value.
Yes.
We done figured out that,
When
wait a
that
minute,
mind,
this a parasite,
ooh,
and you can't wean a parasite. You got to stop feeding them. You got to starve them.
exactly.
I think when women get to that point, and whether it's a personal, romantic, professional exchange, whatever, but
Hmm.
you become like warrior like about access to your energy, you have
Yes.
finally seen your true worth and value correctly.
Yes. And they
Because that's
can't
all it
stand
takes.
it.
People will feed off of you, especially when you're in business too. Like as a mogul, I've
Hmm.
experienced that too. People just, come in a DM and they know that you have a booking link. Right? They know. But they
Right.
want to just feed, just give me some attention, give me some
Hmm.
energy. And I try to tell people, it is in our human nature to use each other.
Right.
Like, you're using me, I'm using you. It's called interaction. But wise people know how to use each other.
Hmm.
Wise people have values, standards, boundaries,
Integrity.
consequences for crossing the
Yes.
boundary. Sometimes the most loving thing I've done, I describe myself as one in the spirit. If you could peek at me, I keep a machete on my hip and it stays sharp.
Yeah.
And sometimes the loving act is to take the head and say, it's got to roll because you don't even understand how your actions are creating a debt for you energetically. So
Hmm.
it's like when a horse gets injured, let me put this horse down because they don't even know it's
I don't
injured.
want you to suffer.
And you can suffer mistreating me. So,
Right.
because my love and my attention and my affection is a covering. And so once I withdraw it, you're on your own. You're in your own energy. I
Hmm.
ain't gotta curse you. I ain't gotta come for you. I ain't
Baby,
gotta put you in the freezer. I ain't got mm-mm. My love is like, whoa. You
it
understand?
is a privilege. And when you get in that space, when you say, me loving you, covering you, nurturing you is a privilege, and really operate from that space, it's different. That's just really
Yeah,
all
it's
that
a
I can
different
say. It's so
frequency.
empowering. Like I feel strong. To be physically
Yeah,
strong is one thing, but to feel
yeah.
mentally, emotionally, and spiritually strong, to
Polar
know that
abundance.
if I do not accept this advance from this person, or if I say no to this opportunity, that it's not the best thing that would have ever happened to me, that something greater is still in the pipeline for me. This was
Yes.
not the thing that was for me. Even if it was an amazing thing, it wasn't for me. And that's
Hmm.
okay.
Or it was for me at that time, and that time has expired. Like there's time, season, there's seed, time, and harvest. So I just love how you laid that out. And
Right.
so if
That
there's a woman listening right now who's like, yeah, Teondra and Tamer, TNT, we bring the boom. That's what I'm nicknaming as. I don't know how that's gonna go. We'll say. I just love it,
Yes.
TNT. They're listening to us and they're like, man, I need to really put in the work. Because I want people to be clear, you don't get the rewards without the work. I don't know why people think they've
Ooh,
earned so many
it's work.
vacations. Like you think you're so tired, um, but you're not tired because you're actually in alignment. You're tired because you're out of alignment. You
Yes.
looking for rest and you actually need relief, but that's a whole other conversation. I ain't got
Ooh,
time to unpack that right here.
I was about to say that's another hour worth at least.
Listen, we'll be here for days with me teaching that. So anyway, how do they prepare for you, Teondra? Because to be on your pot in a womb sauna experience, reclaiming your worth, what can they expect from an experience like that with you?
Coming into a session with me, women can expect to have a mirror held up, not a physical mirror, but in me, you will see whatever is missing in you. When we look at one another, it will almost be like puzzle pieces. So, wherever you are feeling lack, those areas will well up. When people come into my energy, I'm finding I don't even have to say a word. You just feel that energetic pull. There will be some challenging conversations. I will hold you accountable. I am nice in a sense, but you have to be able to boldly and unapologetically really look at what is going on in your life with no sugarcoating. That is one thing that I had to even stop accepting for myself. So when I will be working with you in a session, be prepared to literally get naked, not
Mm-hmm.
just physically, but spiritually. Tell yourself the truth. I will tell you what I see. I will reflect to you what it is that I see. And it'll be up to you whether you accept that reflection and are willing to then start actually doing the work.
Whew. Go ahead and pop that squat, ladies. What area are you in and how can they best connect with you? If they're like, I got to get to Teondra's pot. I got to do some work with Teondra. She's really speaking to me.
I am in South Jersey, South New Jersey, and Bridgeton, to be specific. That is Cumberland County. But I am less than an hour away from Delaware, some parts of Maryland, and Philadelphia. I'm even willing to connect with my sisters up in New York. So you can reach out to me via Facebook at Teondra Bowman or Instagram at heal.thrive.detox.
Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, listeners, if you forget, you can always go to thewombsauna.com, click on our Find a Certified Womb Sauna Practitioner directory. You will see
Yes.
all of these fabulous women, their bios, their pictures, and the links to how to connect with them as well. So you can always resource that, bookmark that page. So any final words you want to give to our beautiful people listening about really standing in their worth, even if they recognize where they did not? How do they put the past behind them and move forward?
I want to say, even if you are looking around your environment, like for me, I'm back home in my childhood bedroom. When at 38, I imagine being in my own home, being a homeowner, just certain things have not come to fruition. I once heard T.D. Jakes say when he was at his poorest and his lowest with one suit that he was wearing 6 days a week to preach, he
Wow.
would look around and he would just yell, "You're a liar." And I have literally done that in my environment. I have looked at my bank account when it has been in the negative and said, "You're a liar.
Come
This
on and
is
put that
not
in the
who I
comment
am.
section. You're a liar. I like that. Woo!
This is not who I am. I know
Mm-mm.
what God has said to me. I know what we talk about nightly." If you will commit to showing up, even when you have no money, even when you are in tears, if you are hurting, if you're sad, if you will
Mhm.
just commit to
Yes.
showing up,
Come on.
I promise you, you will see the changes in your life start to come to fruition. It starts off slow, I will not lie. It starts off slow
Yes, it
because you
does.
are going uphill and you are completely unlearning everything that you knew and relearning something totally new. All of your templates are new. So it's going to take you some time to get your mind centered and then to start seeing the results of your renewed mind. Do not give up. Plant your roots and commit to actually doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
Know that it is not all spa days and getting your nails done and girls trip. Do not let the internet make you think that this healing work is always sweet and feels good. In the beginning, it hurts. You are
Yeah.
being ripped apart, confronting things that you may have buried decades ago. And
Mm.
everything will start to come to the surface, but you have to clear it out so that you can fill that space with new information, with new mindsets, with new self perception. But the number one thing that I want to say is just commit to the process, commit to yourself because you deserve it and you are worthy.
Yeah. Oh, girl, I feel like some chain snapped with that right there. The energy got
Yes.
real, real good and real potent. And if you're listening and you needed that, just put some hearts and just comment back and let us know what you're feeling and experiencing in this moment, where that information went in your body. You deserve everything you want.
Yes.
It is no longer about your worth, it is about your mastery of yourself.
Yes.
Master yourself, do the work, put it in, change your life.
Um,
Like Reverend Ike says, you cannot get the desired outcome without first getting the mindset that can create that outcome.
yes.
Girl, you gonna have me leaving this interview with you walking around the Walmart saying, "You're a liar!" But you know, people yell strange stuff in the Walmart anyways. Ain't nobody gonna.
Right. That's Walmart behavior, not Target, though. That's definitely
Yes, that's
Walmart behavior.
Walmart. Man. Yeah. Ooh, that thing hit my spirit. Thank you
That
for
really
that.
shit. That was a real shifter for me. That really, really helped me be
Hmm.
like, oh, this ain't it.
You know how much power it takes to look at what's in front of you and override what you're looking at with your truth about yourself? Like you were saying, to look at the bank account balance and say, you're a liar. That is what I call having a high spiritual IQ.
Yes.
You choose your truth. Nobody is
Mm-hmm.
forcing you to not believe in yourself. Nobody is forcing you to just lay down and let all the adversities of life, which everybody gets. It doesn't matter your race, your gender, it doesn't matter your income bracket. Earth is the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have some stuff to sort through. So you might as well believe in yourself as you do. I hope y'all have enjoyed this conversation. Teondra and I
Yes.
would stay here all day, but we got
All
other
day.
stuff to do. We got work to do. We running this whole empire now.
Yes.
So thank you again, Bright One,
Thank you.
for shining the way you do. For allowing yourself to embody more. I know how much your oil costs. I
Yes.
bless you. I bless your family. I bless all attached to you. I bless the women coming to your pot.
Mm.
It is healing time. And I'm so grateful that you are in a position to help women heal everything. And so deep bow to you, sister.
Yes.
As we move on with our day, I told you I was going to keep pumping out these beautiful conversations that are going to activate something, and you don't hoard the information and do nothing with it,
Mm-mm.
because faith without works is dead. And so if you want a stagnant life, just sit here and scroll on social media and stuff and then
Come
don't
on.
do nothing with the knowledge. But if you actually want a powerful life, then you will take what you've been given. You will let it take root in your being and you will go be great. So I hope that you do that. Know that there's nothing but love here. And until the next conversation.